No BS, just straight bars. It's time to get to it. Let's get busy.
Here it come.
Pull up on the spot, I'm ducking another op from another block until I give him a couple shots. When I hit the spot, we pulling up, it's something hot, showing off the rocks. I'm high chief just from the top, we can get it in though. Looking for your kinfolk, all these men in the bar, I'm wig with the pencil. Trying to smoke something, so at last, my last stash, got me smoking out the window like I caught backdraft. No turning back, I'm earning scraps and learning that I've been fired with the pen like an inferno match. Send her up to the sky, thunderclouds hit me, show you the full gore with all killer instinct. Put him in a figure four, maybe he will listen more. When I kick in the door, everybody hit the floor. All these girls coming to cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Akron, Ohio, weighing in at 254 pounds, the Aquamarine Weapon, Dallas Cash.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Humble Roses podcast. Just a heads up, this is kind of a crazy episode because we have two powerful guests that are coming to the show. But if for some reason, ladies and gentlemen, I am like disconnected, it's because there is supposed to be a tornado warning outside. outside. Yes, I'm still doing the show, but I live in Ohio. And as I told, our guest earlier, you can get 4 seasons in one day, possibly 1 week. Ohio is wild. It's just out of the frame. But new name, Mr. Give 'em a Rose. There's a lot of roses to give this week because this is all about the women who put in the work. This is all about the women who basically throw themselves in the fire. And nobody better than these two guests we got coming up. We have one with us now, and then we have one showing up later. First off, before I get anything going, I want to send big love to Lou. What's going on, Lou? Good to see you. Miss Angel, also good to see you. John Watson, Sports for You. Mr. Calling Out Names. Big salute to you, CCN Townhouse Media, DWE. Hey, the Oos is in the building. Wrestle Faith. Much love to her. We will definitely have her on the show. And obviously, I got my co-host hailing from Orlando, Florida. She is the prodigy, the prominent figure that is going to spearhead what is going to be a spinoff of not only this show, but part of her Colombian heritage is based on proving herself. And who better to prove herself than the youngest of the bunch? We have Angel. With the Pikachu tumbler that I guess she's had for a while, but I never noticed it. And
yeah,
I apologize for that. First off, big
How you
shout out for the CM Punk shirt. That CM Punk
Mhm.
shirt is fire.
Love the shirt.
Matter of fact,
Hello.
I just crushed a Pepsi not too long ago. So
Nice.
yeah, Pepsi is my weakness. I'm not gonna lie. You give me a can Pepsi, you know, you pretty much got me.
Mm.
Also, we have more Southern flavor, more Southern flavor again down in Texas, where everything is bigger in Texas, including high school football on a Friday night. If you've ever been to a football game in Texas on a Friday night, it's the equivalent of a local Super Bowl. I don't know why, but Texas loves football. That is why they live, breathe, and die football in Texas. By way of California, we have Vanessa.
Hi.
Hey, are you guys ready for our guest?
Yes, super excited.
So this guest, I actually met previously, not in person, but the work that she has done has superseded anything that I could possibly imagine.
Mhm.
This is a woman who has come from humble beginnings with work for her own podcast, the Hardy Wrestle Podcast, especially with the work she did with BattleClubPro, Catch Magic. She Fansided DDT, a prominent writer and a figure, not only with her interview style, but her take on things. A big, probably the biggest Mercedes Moné fan that we could possibly have.
Yeah.
Not only that, she has bestowed the kind of attitude and dedication that it took for not only just a woman in journalism, but a Black woman in journalism to create and have checks and balances with her own product, to make herself not only a household name from where she's from, hailing from Birmingham, Alabama, a place that was spearheaded in one of the most important cities for the civil rights movements, even for the monuments that they have down there, where classic things happened, moments were made. This woman decided she wanted to step up and create her own legacy with her own talent from the ground up, and became so enamored with what she was doing, she became undeniable. Recently, she was at Money in the Bank, and I had seen a couple of interviews that she had with Carmelo Hayes, Tiffany Stratton.
Oh, wow.
This woman is a magnum opus of excellence and displays that with her talented demeanor, her hard-hitting questions, and the smile of a Hollywood billboard at a matinee that would light up a million city lights at the drop of a dime. Alabama power grid should be lit up by her aura and everything that
Oh,
emanates
she does
from
have a
that.
beautiful smile.
Not only that, but she has a beautiful way of teaching, way of learning. She gives back even when she doesn't have to. Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful, the talented Stephanie Hardy.
Queen herself.
Oh my gosh, that's probably one of the best intros I've ever heard.
Yeah, he's got some amazing intros.
You've been hit by Dallas Cash's intro.
Check.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Check.
Oh man. That was incredible. I don't even know what to say. But thank you. Yeah, just thank you so much for having me on your show, first of all, and just for all of those nice things.
Yeah,
Well,
a lot of people get emotional when they hear his intros.
Yeah, like I'm trying to hold it together, but thank you so much for all of those kind words. Thank you for all of your support, and I'm really happy to meet everyone who I have not met on the show. Angel, Nessa, hi. And I'm just really pumped to be here. I've just been, anytime I can talk wrestling with new people who I have known, I'm always excited about it. So I'm just really happy that this is happening on this Wednesday, Juneteenth Eve. So hey, we're here.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. I'm so happy to be here.
Yo, chat, if you're watching, please give Stephanie some roses. I want to see some rose emojis in the chat.
Rose emojis. Hashtag rose
she's
emojis.
part of Rose Gang. You know what to do.
It's part of the Rose Gang. Come on now.
Flame them emojis up. Get those roses
Kevin,
going.
if you're watching it, put in some rose emojis.
Put some roses in. So let's get started. Let's get started. I'm gonna fire off some questions. Well, I mean, obviously, since she's here, we have to do this real quick, ladies and gentlemen. We are putting Hardy on the hot seat. So
Okay.
the way the hot seat works is you are the honorary guest. We will take turns asking questions. I'll go first, and if anybody else has questions, feel free to ask. Chat, if you got questions for Stephanie, make sure they are appropriate. Don't say nothing weird.
Yeah,
okay?
don't be cute. Don't be cute.
Don't be crass, okay? Be respectful. This is a woman, okay? You want to?
No, believe me. Sometimes it gets out of pocket.
Yeah. You have not seen this show when it gets out of pocket.
Not the time or place. Not the time or place.
This is not the time or place. Even I'm trying to
get a little wild.
I'm trying to hold my demeanor to PG, but I might slip into NC-17 at any minute. Let's get started with some questions. So I wanted to know, so I don't know if you know, but sometimes like I wear like different like artists on my shirt, and I have a Dolly Parton shirt, and Dolly Parton is probably one of my favorite people to talk about, just because she embodies what a humanitarian is. One of my other underrated actors that I like talking about, rest in peace, God rest his soul, Chris Christopherson. He made Whistler come alive in Blade. He played one hell of a bad guy in Payback. Let me ask you this question. Tell me what joyful noise means to you, especially the scene with Chris and Dolly. Talk a little bit about that.
Oh man. So it's so funny that you brought this up, because joyful noise means a lot to me, because I went to see this movie when I was in college. And it was in my freshman year of college too, and I was so excited because at Berea College, which is the name of the school I went to in Kentucky, there was this gospel choir called the Black Music Ensemble, and I was so excited to be a part of this gospel group because it allowed me to feel free with my worship as a Christian person in a way that I had just never felt before. So going to see that movie, I was like, okay, this is my jam. I got to see this film. And seeing Dolly and Chris be, a couple, even though there wasn't a lot of time that Chris Christopherson had in the movie because he had passed in the earlier part of the movie. I'm sorry if I'm spoiling this for anybody because it's been years, but I'm sorry. But just to see them, interaction was just really beautiful. And then the duet they had, which was called From Here to the Moon and Back, means a lot to me personally, because that was something that my mom and I used to say to each other and text each other every time we texted one another. Because when I went to school in Kentucky, that was the farthest I had ever been from home. And me and my family were really close. We still are. And me moving away was just a tough time for everybody. A tough time for me, tough time for mom and dad and my sister. And my mom would always say, I love you from here to the moon and back. So when I went to see that film and they started singing From Here to the Moon and Back, I just sobbed. I was like, I can't take this. Like, I could not believe it. And then I was dating a guy at the time, and he was just like, are you okay? And I'm just like, it just makes me think about my mom. And he was just like, oh, okay. And he was really nice about it and everything. And once I finally got myself together, I was able to enjoy the rest of the movie. But that holds a special place in my heart. And my mom finally saw it and she understood. And yeah, that movie, along with the great people who were in it, like Queen Latifah and like Keke Palmer and Jeremy Jordan, from Broadway, and everyone else that was in it, it was just that one part that just really did it for me. And it helped my respect for Dolly Parton grow even more than it already did. So it's wonderful.
Thank you for answering that. We do have a couple of questions from the chat, and I'd like to bring up one. This one, please forgive me. I don't know where this is going to go because Alabama people have different ways of reacting to this question. So I just want to
Here
know.
we go.
This is from John Watson from Sports for You. He says, big fan of Queen Steph. Simple question because my stepdad is from Clanton, Alabama. So Roll Tide or War Eagle?
Neither.
Oh!
Neither.
Really?
Really?
So, if you don't mind me asking.
I know.
Well, yeah, it's neither now. Well, at first, growing up when I was a teenager, it was Auburn because I wanted to do something different than everybody else. Because to paint the picture for you, in Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, where the University of Alabama Tuscaloosa Roll Tide is, Crimson Tide is 45 to 50 minutes away from us. So there's that closeness there. I have family there. It's funny. But I wanted to be different and be an Auburn fan because I just like blue and orange and stuff. But then, of course, when I went to college in a completely different, state, all of my allegiance and school spirit naturally goes to the school that I went to. And we didn't have a football team, but that's where my spirit went. So by the time I got back home, I just didn't care anymore about the Alabama Auburn, but I would watch it because it's such a big deal. And it's almost like a celebration, low-key, where the whole city will shut down completely for this game. And then also for the Magic City Classic, which is different, like for HBCUs, we'll shut down everything for these games. And, either you pick a side or you just watch it because you like the sport of it. And I love football. So I just watch it for the sport of it. So I don't really have a favorite. So, yeah.
Wrestle Faith wanted to ask for Stephanie, being a woman and woman of color in this community, how have you found it in your journey to stay positive, rise above negativity, and become prominent in this community? That's a great question.
That is a great question. Thank you, Wrestle Faith. I love that name too. It makes me feel like there's a mixture of wrestling and faith.
There's a whole story behind it. There's a whole story behind it, but I won't say it. That's for her to tell when she comes on the show.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the way I remain positive is, number one, I just try to take care of myself and also just keep my mind open to different possibilities, because wrestling is just one of those things where you just never know what could happen. It's a crash course in change, and that's kind of like life, right? You just never know what could happen, so you just try to stay open to everything. And I remain positive because I'm surrounded by a good support system. Like I mentioned, my family, my boyfriend's family, who've been very supportive as well. It's important to surround yourself with people who see what you're doing, even though they might not understand it all the way. They still support you because it makes you happy. And as long as it makes you happy, you have people who love that, then that's all that matters. And there is a level of thick skin that you do have to grow as a woman. I will say that, because growing up, I was really sensitive and I would cry over the smallest things. But the older I got, and also just the more passionate I got about the things that I loved, and my work ethic started to grow within it, the more the noise just started to get more and more quiet, because I realized who I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for myself. And I do it because I love it and because it makes me happy. And you do have to grow that thick skin, because people are going to say horrible things. People are going to be mean, and people are going to be trash at times. But at the end of the day, they say those things because there's a sense of sadness that they might have, or envy that they might have, and that's not your responsibility. At the end of the day, your responsibility is for you, and as long as you're doing what you love, and as long as you grow your thick skin and maintain who you are, then you can continue to move forward. So that's just what I try to do most of the time.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry to barge in, ladies. If you got any questions, fire them off.
No, I want to go ahead and kind of piggyback on what you're talking about having thick skin. What part what point in your life did you feel like, okay, now I need to actually develop that? Because, as you said, you were, a little sensitive growing up. Like, what did you feel like, okay, I'm going to pretty much stand on business, and I'm going to continue to love what I love?
Steph, you there?
Oh,
Hello?
I think she froze.
She might have froze. We'll wait for her. But no,
Yeah.
like having her here is like really, really good, honestly, because part of that is she's having the same connection problems I was having like last week. Having Steph here, like obviously, like you guys just don't understand the work that it took for her to get where she is now, and part of that,
The dedication.
The dedication was, well, she'll come back. Part of that was like her taking so many different layers of what she does and applying that to journalism, applying that to writing, interviewing. I aim to be like her. Like both Stephanies, Hardy and Hypes, same initials. Like it's one's Pepsi, one's Coke. It's like it's crazy because it's just the dedication that these women have is unparalleled. And while we're waiting, we'll just move along a little bit. So Raw,
Faith.
What Faith
Can
say?
she adopt me? Can she adopt me? Teach me her ways. This Queen Steph is as we say, Aura.
Hey, Kayla.
Oh, Kayla
Hi.
from Queen's Takeover. Yo, we gotta have y'all back on the show. And
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
we can't wait to come back on you guys' show whenever you're ready. So while we're waiting back on Stephanie, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we kind of got some unfortunate news about what happened on Raw. Particularly, this is a tough one, I know, for both of these ladies. Liv Morgan sustained a shoulder injury versus Kairi Sane. So she will be out for about 3 to 6 months, which means she'll probably miss SummerSlam.
So it looks like they said that she might need surgery with the injury that she sustained. So she might be out longer than expected.
Yeah.
And I believe it's the same shoulder she injured.
Yep.
I think it was. I think it was the same one that she had her last surgery on.
Because she had a labral tear. Labrum tear, and that was going to have to be like there's like a long recovery time for something like that.
Yeah,
which
I guess
sucks.
maybe she.
It was just the way. I guess it said something about the dislocation. It's going to require some kind of surgery. Hopefully, it's not too severe, and then when they get in there, they can fix it. And she's not out for so long. But prayers out to her. I got problems with my shoulder, and every time I injure myself with it, it's just more painful. So I sympathize with her.
No, seriously.
It was not a pretty sight.
No.
For all of you out there. Oh, I think we're about to say the same shit.
About everyone saying that it was Kyrie's fault. Shut up. Because it's not Kyrie's fault. Liv accidentally like miscalculated the way she was landed. And also people saying that thank you Kyrie for hurting Liv. Fuck you.
It's bad when Rhea Ripley has to defend.
Exactly.
Yo, seriously,
when she has to come
that even she had to defend.
Like, how are you going to sit there and celebrate someone's injury?
Seriously,
that is not okay.
You literally put yourself in their shoes, or put someone in your family that you love in their shoes. Would you want them to be hurt too? Would you want to be hurt? No, I don't think you would want to be hurt because pain hurts. Duh.
Okay, so Kayla says it's okay. Dom, we'll move on.
That's not funny, but okay.
No, before we get into who we have in the back, two things. I have a theory that I posted, and a lot of people are like upset. A lot of Liv fans are upset at me, but let's just look at it from a perspective. We're not seeing. It's not like Dom is gonna like get with Roxanne, right?
No, I don't think so.
But
it could happen too.
This is eerily.
Anything could happen at this point.
This is eerily similar to what happened to Rhea.
last year.
Kind of, yeah.
So what I think is going to happen is,
except this one was more accidental than on purpose.
I'm going to say something that's probably going to shake a lot of people, and people are going to say, matter of fact, Angel, I'm giving you permission to hit this. There's a video clip.
Okay.
And it is labeled, it's labeled FOH. Okay.
Hold up.
Let me know when you find it.
Hey, final boss.
Final boss lady, good to see you. You'll see it.
I see it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Liv Morgan is going to return. Roxanne Perez and Raquel are going to jump her. And she is going to get beaten up and find help from the most unlikely ally of all, because she has been going through the same thing. And now I presume we will get a reuniting team of Liv Morgan. Get ready to hit the button, Angel.
I already know who it is, so this should be fun.
Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley.
Go ahead.
And then
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out of here.
But okay, so here's my thing. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But I do know that definitely their angle that they were supposed to go for is that Dom and Liv were supposed to separate from Judgment Day. That is 100% the angle that they were going to go for. Right. I feel like probably they'll keep going with that angle, except without Liv. Or maybe if it's, I was going to say if it's not too serious, but obviously it is super serious. So I was like, maybe she could have done like what they did for Dom.
Nessa, give your take on it before we bring our next guest up.
Well, no, I think that they're going to kind of pull how when Jay got hurt. So they have to relinquish the titles, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to relinquish the titles. I think Roxanne is going to come in and be Captain Save-A-Ho, and, you know, here we go.
I think that's going to happen too. I think that's going to happen too.
And that's going to strain the relationship even more, because right now they're showing that there's some strain in Raquel and Liv's relationship. Yeah.
And so honestly, I would rather that angle. And honestly, have Dom, just have him out of there, please. Because I'm so sick and tired of the whole like Dom rocks Dom. It's like, no, Dom, it needs to be his own character. Like, he has his own stuff right now. He has his thing with AJ. So can we please like leave him with AJ and Finn and everybody else, and like,
and it might just happen if they're
stop having him revolve around other women. Like, come on.
Finish it up.
Roxanne is pretty much going to be that level playing field. I know. Exactly. Leave her
What up,
out
Dalton?
of this.
What up, Dalton?
But
yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Pretty much that I feel like that's what's gonna happen, because again, they're supposed to be doing this, they're a tag team. She's gonna be injured. Now they're gonna try to relinquish. It's gonna be this whole thing where she tries to make sure they stay with the Judgment Day. And then that's how they're gonna continue their story with this Liv and Raquel.
I think that would be a good one. I feel like that would be a good angle. Who knows what happened? Let's just see what happens this Monday. I'm nervous.
All right, let's move on because we don't want to take too much time with this.
Let's do it.
All right, so we have a new guest. We're waiting on Stephanie, but it's just
I
funny.
agree with you, Dalton.
So for this guest, another freelance writer, journalist as well. Kind of did
a writer.
Yeah, did some freelance writing a while ago with Alt Press, but she's also part of one of the largest groups of blurs out right now. Content creators. They just interviewed the voice actor from Elio from the Disney Pixar movie, BlackGirlNerds, and I told you guys we're bringing Black women on this show. We're bringing the BlackGirlNerds to the show. I'm not going to like put too much of her business out there because that's not my piece, but she has basically bestowed all of her talent into putting her thoughts together. And based upon that, what she has created is such a big foundation that the Black Girl Nerds that she's a part of, it's become a tornado of just content creation, soul, love, power, dedication. And throughout all of that, we have an individual who is rising up to make her name known. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Lyric. Lyric, what's going on?
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, I told Lyric, hey, you ain't got to show your face. You want to be anonymous? Cool with me. We don't need your face. A voice is completely fine.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Lyric. How are you doing?
Welcome.
I'm doing good. I mean, it's hot as hell in Cleveland right now, but I'm pulling through.
Well, I'm not that far from you. I'm like 20 minutes away, and we had a tornado warning, and yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys ain't even got that up there.
No, the last time we had a tornado warning, I was on the phone with my brother, and he was like, "If you need me, call me. I'll come pick you and your dog up."
That's understandable. Well,
that's nice.
Welcome to the show,
Mhm.
Angel, Nessa. This is Lyric, Angel, and Nessa.
Hello.
Hi.
We
Nice
are
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We are all acquainted. So then, Larry, let me just ask you a question, because I don't know if you've watched the show before, but like I said, I know for a fact, and based on your title, I can obviously a big fan of Jay Uso. Obviously, you're a big fan of Jamie as well. But I gotta ask you, have you seen two questions? One, have you seen the Barbie movie?
I have seen the Barbie movie.
Oh.
Good. Because that leads to my next question. Tell me what the Aaliyah Barbie doll means to you.
Oh, the
Everything.
Aaliyah Barbie doll. I was a big Barbie fan before Bratz came out. I was a big Bratz fan, but that was more so my little cousin's thing. I was a Barbie girl through and through. I had every pillow cover set, the dolls, the games. I had a Barbie watch.
Oh, nice.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I was also a big Aaliyah fan. My best friend that lived down the street from me, she had all the Aaliyah posters on her walls and everything. And we sat up and watched MTV News when she passed away. So
Yeah,
Aaliyah is a big part of my life.
that was tough. It did rip me apart, obviously, when she passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of ripped, not just like with a knife. Who's that one person? Oh, Jack the Ripper, right? Jack the Ripper. I know we're all familiar with Jack the Ripper.
Wait, this segue, what the heck?
I want to talk to you about why this Jack the Ripper entrance from Finn Balor from NXT TakeOver England is one of your favorite entrances. Talk a little bit about that.
Finn's first run in NXT was so special to me because it was in the mid 2010s, back when the main roster was kind of going through that weird reality period. So NXT Black and Gold was the best thing going in wrestling at that time. And Finn Balor was so awe-inspiring to me. A Finn Balor entrance was an event, essentially. And that one hit me so hard. Because I was it's so creative. It's so unique. It's something you don't really see in WWE a lot.
Well, that is not only obviously true, but part of the thing is that I think Finn Balor's first run was incredible. His second run, because we were kind of in a pandemic, it could have went either way, but it was still good enough. Once it transitioned into the pandemic, things kind of got wonky. You did some freelance writing for Alt Press. How did you get discovered by Alt Press, or what was your segue into working as a freelance writer with them?
So with Alt Press, it started how a lot of my stuff starts, where I'll just visit a website and then I'll go down to their contact page and see if they do have spots to for freelancers. So it started like that. And then it was during the pandemic, like the early parts of the pandemic where everything was no contact. So we did my interview over the phone, and it was basically like talking to people that I had so much in common with. So I kind of got cool with the editorial team, and that's how I ended up with like the music article, the Sims article, and stuff like that. It was pretty much a spot for me to talk about the kind of music that I liked. Especially because Alt Press is based in Cleveland, and that made it even more special. Where I was like, well, even if it's just freelancing, like one day I could like segue into working there in person if it came up.
Part of that segue was having hard work and dedication. Speaking of hard work and dedication, one of my favorite horror movie series was actually shot in Cleveland from a Cleveland film director by the name of Wes Craven. And this goes by the name of Scream. So Scream, well, really was on the West Coast, but the film director was from Cleveland. And one of my favorite actors who I feel does not get a lot of love is Matthew Lillard. So I got to ask, out of all the characters that he's played, what is your favorite version of him?
I mean, I guess this is like the question everybody gives, but I think like I love Stu from like Scream, but I also love Shaggy. Like I think he was like the perfect live action Shaggy, and he still is. I don't really see anybody else but him.
It really is. He embodies Shaggy.
No,
like
he really
perfect.
does. Like I need him to do another live action.
Dallas, before you go into your next question, I actually have a question for Lyric. On your Twitter page for BlackGirlNerds, I caught my eye the most was geek culture and Black feminism. Can you kind of express on that, like how you put the two together?
So I've been in like geek culture since I was a kid, like essentially, like because my brother was a gamer, I was a gamer, all of our cousins were gamers. So I've been in that space, the anime space. And I've been in the wrestling space since I was 14, but mostly gaming and anime. And there really hasn't always been this welcoming like feeling in those spaces, especially as like an alternative music fan. There hasn't been a whole lot of welcoming energy. So going anywhere and finding like-minded people, not just like like-minded people who aren't Black, but like like-minded people who are Black, who want to share those kinds of interests are important. Like you need safe spaces to like build yourself up. And I'm lucky that I found a lot of like-minded people and a lot of welcoming, nurturing people in the geek space to like commiserate with.
Before I transition, because we now we're gonna start since we have two powerful women here.
Yes.
We got Stephanie back, and we have Lyric. Like this feels like the all-star game right here. So Lyric, do you know how many times I've had to go into anime debates pages and had to provide evidence for, and here we go. I can see the chat is going to light up for the anime fans. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look me dead in the eyes when I tell you this. You need to know this. For my anime fans, or my diehard anime fans, Sailor Moon clears Goku by light years. Speaking of which, I know you're a fan of Sailor Moon. So, Lyric, what was your like all-time favorite Sailor Moon moment, and what's your favorite Sailor Moon transformation?
So I'm gonna start with the transformation because that's the easiest one. Sailor Moon S Cosmic Heart transformation is the best one out of everything.
Beautiful.
Yeah, especially in the S movie, because that was the one I had both Promise of the Rose and Hearts on Ice on DVD. I still do, but like the S movie was my favorite out of the Sailor Moon movies, and that transformation has been stuck in my head since I was a kid. But my favorite moment, I think, is the end of Promise of the Rose, that movie, where they're all on the like asteroid, and they're all
oh yeah,
they met Serena. I still call her Serena because I watched Sailor Moon on Toonami.
Yeah, that's how I got introduced to her. Go ahead, cook.
same. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that's my favorite moment from Sailor Moon. Like I just like moments in anime that celebrates friendships. Like it's an anime cliche for a reason. Like friendship is like the basis for most animes.
Oh, I agree. So hard.
Okay, so now that we have both ladies here, we're actually going to put both of them on the hot seat. So chat,
Right.
if you got questions for Stephanie, if you got questions for Lyric, both of them are here. And ladies, we're not going to hold you hostage if you have to go or if you have prior obligations. Feel free. This is come and go. But I want to
Same, Greg. Same.
I want to point out something. Question for Stephanie. We all have different things that bring us comfort. You know what I'm saying? And certain shows that we watch bring us comfort. I know for you, a comfort show for you is Girlfriends. So I told you the research was coming. I'm not letting you off that easy. So what is it about Girlfriends that makes you feel comfortable, and who do you see yourself in the show that is so similar to you?
Wow. Well, I will say Girlfriends is my comfort show because during the pandemic, there was this point where Netflix decided they were just going to pull all the shows from UPN and just put them on there. And I was just like, okay, well, as an adult, I never got to watch these shows. Because of course, when you're a child, you see Black people on TV and you're excited at the Black people on TV. But other than that, you don't know really what's going on from the adult context. So when I watched Girlfriends as a grown up at that point, I was just like, I really like this. And I love the comedy of it. I loved the friendship aspect of it, even though it was like a push and pull because, of course, the friendships weren't perfect by any means. And I just loved watching it because it just makes me feel safe. And then it also makes me feel connected because I will put that show on while I'm either reading or doing laundry or doing my hair, and it just makes sense to me. It's just something that just gives me an extreme amount of comfort from the pandemic on to even here and now. I'll just put it on and it just makes me feel connected and makes me feel really good. And there's stuff in the show that kind of even translates to now, but just in a different way because of course that was like in the 2000s and this is the 2020s, but still there are still levels to it that still make sense even now. And I feel like the characters that I relate to the most, I relate to Joan and Lynn the most. Yeah, to the both of them because basically Joan is the one who always wanted to have things done by a certain time. Like I have to get married by this age. I have to have a house at this age. I have to have children by this age. And that's how I was for a long time until I got older and life had to tell me like, look, you're not in control of this thing. God will say, look, I'm in control of this thing and it's okay if none of it goes the way that you think it ought to go. But when you do get the things that you do want, it comes at the right time. And that's what Joan reminds me of. She reminds me of myself in the way where I want things done at a specific time, but then life will tell you that it's okay if it's not. And Lynn is me because there was a point where I will say that after I graduated from college, I felt a little lost in one aspect because I had dedicated so much of my time to my major, which was in music performance. And then after I graduated and came home, none of that was working. And I was like, I don't know what's going to happen for me at this point. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then podcasting fell into my lap, and talking about wrestling mixed in with that fell into my lap, and my life has changed with that trajectory ever since in a radical way. And I found my voice, just like Lynn found her voice in music. It was like the opposite. But, for a minute, I was lost in jumping from different things. And she was also really good at different things too, which is me as well. So I'm a mixture of both of them. And it's amazing. So I identify that way.
Excellent. Such a layered and detailed answer. Angel, don't let me stop you. I feel like I'm overstepping. So you ladies go ahead.
Well, let me go ahead and go back to my question that I had before we froze. So I know you're talking about having tough skin and being, I guess, vulnerable when you were growing up. And my question was, what point in your life did you feel like, okay, I'm going to put my foot down, stand on pretty much on business and say, this is what I love and this is how I'm going to just kind of go with it and not listen to anybody?
It started really early, and it didn't even have anything to do with wrestling and podcasting. Like I mentioned earlier, when I was in college, I studied music and also musical theater. And there was a point where there was something going on in my personal life that was trying to sort of derail what I was actually supposed to be doing, which was focusing on being like the principal role in this musical. And it just kept trying to get in the way, so much so to the point to where it was breaking me down and making me cry all the time and all of that. And once I realized and stopped making this person who didn't mean me any good the center of my attention, I was able to really stand on business and find who I was. Because that's the thing. Sometimes it's people and sometimes it's your environment that tries to keep you from your mission. And once I was able to really like stand on business and figure out who I was and sort of take it step by step, because of course it's not, just a linear path. Like you've got to move your way through in multiple different ways. Once I was finally able to sort of find that trajectory for myself to focus on what I love and focus on who I am, that's where the thick skin kind of came in, where I just decided I need to focus on myself and I need to focus on what's good about me, because all this other noise is going on, but how do I feel? What do I need to do to make myself better, to make this situation better, to make what I love a better thing? And that's kind of what gave me that thick skin. And also hearing constructive criticism from people who are ultimately supportive but don't mean you any harm. Like that's another thing that gave me thick skin as well. So once I was able to do that and just apply it to the things that I love to do, it was a little bit easier, once I actually did transition over into a whole new field. And it has its bumps, but you just have to remain focused on yourself.
I love that.
Angel, what you got?
Sorry. I was gonna ask.
Lyric?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. I was gonna ask Stephanie. What made you choose musical theater?
Because I had been in choir my whole life, and I loved watching Disney movies and singing along with them and everything. And then it's just being in choir offered me like a sense of community in high school, where it felt like to a degree I was being bullied a lot, because I was different, because I had went to private Christian school from kindergarten to the 8th grade. So once I had went to high school, which is a completely different thing, like in public school with a bunch of kids who didn't know me, I was like, and it was just really hard. But once I had joined choir, there was a sense of community that I felt like I had with people who were kind of like-minded in a way. So it transitioned over into college to a degree. And here again, a lot of my friends were in that same vein of talent and everything. So that's kind of what made me want to do it. And I just love the storytelling of it. And then I just love dancing as well. So music became like a healing salve for me in a lot of different points of my life, and that's kind of why I majored in it to a degree and just thought that maybe if I just, work hard in this area, that it would be okay. And I don't regret it at all, but I also believe that in focusing so hard on the musical component of, my talents, I sort of buried the other stuff that I was good at too. Like writing and like speaking as well, because I sang so much that people are even surprised now. People who I run into from college, they're just like, wait, did you always like wrestling? Did you always like podcasting? And I would be like, well, yeah, but I just never did it, with y'all because I was always doing the music thing. So in a sense, I was pigeonholing myself to a degree, but life is life and you learn, so it's okay. Yeah.
Question for Lyric. Lyric, so obviously I don't know if I've stated this, but I'm a huge anime fan. There's different animes I watch, like I like Slice of Life. I remember though hearing that one of the most underrated animes that people either have not taken notice to or have not really checked out was Peach Girl. So for someone who has not watched Peach Girl, could you tell me like what it makes it so underrated and underappreciated?
So for those that have watched Peach Girl, you know how chaotic that anime is. And how frustrating it is to not get through in a bad way, but like in a way where it's like, think of the most frustrating like TV show you've ever watched, but that you loved. Like if you ever watched Insecure, it's like that level of frustration where it's so entertaining,
man,
but it's so stressful.
My soul.
Like, it's essentially a story of two girls, and one of them is like really jealous of the other, and she uses that jealousy to try to sabotage her along the way.
Oh no.
So it's a good show, but it's a good show that teaches a lesson about like knowing when to cut off a friendship, because a lot of these problems could have been cut off if either, excuse my language, she just like beat the girl's ass, or if she just stopped being friends with her, it would have stopped all of the messiness.
You can curse on the show.
Go ahead.
Listen, you can curse on the show. Please be yourself. Please be yourself. You can curse on the show. I wanted to ask this question before we go to the ladies and then the chat. BlackGirlNerds, how did that come about? And as someone who, and shout out to BlackGirlNerds, they actually followed me today. Did not see that coming. What is the mission statement of BlackGirlNerds, and how did you get involved?
So I got involved in BlackGirlNerds in 2019 because I was like, if you ever, like most people that like really get into like their fandoms, you've been on the like fandom Wikia websites and stuff, and I was doing like, I guess a writing training thing with them for like 2 years, and then that program ended. But one of the editors in that program was writing for BlackGirlNerds at the time. So I went on her Twitter and I was like, well, where is she going? And I saw BlackGirlNerds, so I went on the website and filled out the like freelance form, and they got back to me. So it was pretty much me like doing what I mostly do when I freelance, which is like seeing another writer is writing for a website, going to that website and getting in contact with them. And that's how I ended up with BlackGirlNerds. But like over the years, like the main mission statement and, thing with BlackGirlNerds is just like giving Black, well, not just Black, but like people of color and mostly femmes a place to talk about the things that we love and talk about it from like a societal lens, pretty much. Like a lot of my articles on there are like sociology stuff or like connecting art and anime and gaming to like real world stuff. Like a few months ago, I wrote about feminism with them. So like it's a lot of varied topics, but it's mostly from a Black femme lens.
Part of that, though, is the fact that we got two writers right here. We got two ladies on this show who have different sides of the spectrum, but wrestling and writing both connects them together. So maybe down the line, you two could work together on something. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. But there is
that actually.
I'm sorry.
No, well, that was going to lead to my next question, but for both of them. You know, you guys have both said that music has been a part of your life, in some point, you know, in your lives, but as well as wrestling has also been a part of it. How is that, like, when did that start for the both of you as being wanting to have wrestling be more, not dominant, but just trying to show it more that you, how do I know how to put that?
Just their passion, pretty much their, part of their passion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, could you repeat the question? Because I think it was kind of a cutoff that happened, and then it's cool. I'm sorry, but
No. Just that, when did wrestling become part of your passion? Like, where you wanted to kind of focus more, or try to show more that your wrestling side of, instead of your music or anime kind of thing.
Well, for me, in terms of wrestling was always there because I had watched it with my dad since I was 4 years old, and it was always something that I had talked about, but not really like led with, because of the fact that not a lot of people were fully into wrestling. So when I did mention it, they were like, "Oh," you know, they would either say that they were really surprised by it, or they were just like, "Oh, I used to watch it when Stone Cold and The Rock were on there, but then I quit after they left." And that's kind of where the conversations would just sort of end. And then it would definitely end after they would say it was fake, and that would make me mad. So I just just leave me alone. So around college time, I was keeping up with it as much as I could, because of course when you're studying, you don't really have time to watch TV like that. So I was keeping up with it via the internet wrestling community. But in the midst of that, I joined a wrestling group on Facebook with my boyfriend, and we would talk about wrestling. I was an administrator, so I would bring up different topics about women's wrestling, about anything else that I was enjoying or stuff like that. And they would talk about starting a podcast, but they never did. Somehow, I think it was just due to timing and scheduling and stuff, and they never did start that podcast. But we, at one point, downloaded different apps where you could, you know, record your podcast on your phone. And I kept them on my phone, not, you know, just waiting for the day it would happen. But then wrestling changed when the online trajectory of wrestling changed once AEW became a thing, and it kind of split everything down the middle. And I wound up leaving the group because of a lot of the negativity that I had seen happen with that split. And I decided that, look, I really need a place to put my ideas, because I don't have that place anymore because I'm not in this group. And I noticed that I still had the podcast app. It was Anchor at the time, but of course now it's Spotify for podcasters. And I decided that creatively, I was like, you know what, let me just share my ideas. And so I started the podcast, and at first the show was called Hardy Wrestling with Stephanie Hardy, because that really is my last name, government and all, like the Hardy Boys. Like full on. It's not a made up thing. That's really my name. But I shortened it to the Hardy Wrestling Podcast, because that's what people were calling it for short. And I was like, well, maybe that's easier, and just make it just HWP, and that's just what it was. And the more I did it, and the more I started getting comfortable with speaking into the speakerphone, like I was talking on the phone with anybody, like I'm talking to y'all, the better I got. And then, of course, I started collecting notebooks over time and writing down outlines as to how I would want the show to go, like with different segments from TV shows and stuff. I was like, you know, let me talk about news here, let me do an interview here, or let me tell a story here, or let me talk about a recap of a show here. It started to collectively make sense, and that's where the passion started to flow and thrive. And then it got even better once I started sharing it online during the pandemic and people started interacting with it. And it just became a thing that I just love to do, like just sharing my ideas and just putting them out there and making it more of a positive aspect of wrestling where I talk about more of what I like and not what I don't like, because I feel like that's kind of something that permeates the wrestling atmosphere a lot more than the positive. So that's just what I wanted to do more of, and that's just kind of how it grew, and that's where the passion came from. So yeah.
Lyric?
Same question, Lyric.
Same question.
Yeah. So my foray into wrestling was 2009 because my best friend watched wrestling, still does. And, we were on, back then you would be on the phone with your friend after you got home from school and they would be doing something, you would be doing something. So she was like, turn on USA, Monday Night Raw is on. Or she'd be like, turn on Channel 6, SmackDown, back when SmackDown was on UPN. But that's how I got into wrestling. So over the years, I just kept up with it, except that when I took a break in 2019, because 2019 was a terrible time to be a wrestling fan.
Oh my Lord. Don't get me started, please. Just go ahead. I'm sorry.
But so my foray into talking about wrestling, like mostly online, was I would just start tweeting about it. And then other wrestling fans started following me and I would talk about it with them. And before I knew it, I was like in this like small pocket of like wrestling fans that like the same things. And, we comment on each other's posts and show each other like support. And, I sort of get to hang out with the Femline girls for the Fem Slam podcast. I've like built a bond with them now. So it's like, I just like doing that with the things I love. I like finding other people that like it and have the same positive energy that I try to put out, because that's mostly what I do. Like, if you look at my Twitter, I really don't try to fight with anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be fighting with everybody. Ladies and gentlemen,
I fight with no one. I try my best. I try my level best not to fight with anybody.
Happens sometimes.
My block button gets used. Like, I'll block people.
Me too. The mute button and the block button are my favorites. My absolute favorites. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one person who has arrived. The hardest working man in Cleveland, Ohio. In my opinion, because Lord knows. Hold on. Meredith Bell.
Hey.
Alice Byrne. My homies.
Hi, Meredith.
Yes, we all know each other. We all know each other. Yo, bring me on the show. Hold on.
Oh.
See, this is what I don't like. I've literally said you could come on the show anytime. You just let me know. And you wait till I have the wonderful Stephanie Hardy and Lyric on the show. And now you want this scene is going to get crowded. Okay.
Oh, she said send me the link.
So let's go.
Oh my gosh. Wait a minute, Meredith, because we got these guests on the show and I don't want you to just wait. Okay. Let's bring up my best friend, Kev the Postman.
Hey everybody, what's going on?
Hi, Kev.
Good to see you guys. Everybody's looking healthy and wealthy as always.
Thank you.
I'm broke.
Okay, Dallas is broke. Everybody else, y'all looking wealthy.
In different ways. Wealthy in different ways.
Yeah, we're wealthy in different ways.
Exactly.
And welcome, Stephanie and Lyric, for being on the show. And since you guys don't feel like fighting, so pick me to fight with, okay? You guys, if you want to brawl with me, go ahead. I'm ready for it.
No, we are not having what happened last week.
Come on, man.
We are not.
It got spicy. No,
Speaking of spicy, we're gonna switch this second because I wanted to talk about this.
Okay.
For my gamers.
That's spicy?
Yes. Dallas City, bro. Yeah, I know. I couldn't pull out of a driveway. Don't start just because you dress like Rhea.
Oh,
anyway.
Faith. Faith, don't, no, he don't. He doesn't want the smoke.
No, I don't want the smoke.
He doesn't want the smoke.
I had
He
a
ain't-
talk. The bosses at CCN said, chill out. So I'm officially off those.
There are no bosses at
There's
CCN.
no bosses.
There's
Stop,
no
Kev,
bosses.
just
There is
stop,
no
stop
crash
talking about
out. That's it. I had a talk over from the higher ups, and they said no. So them days are over. Sorry.
All right, anyways, back to video games.
Yes, back to video games.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you remembered, I had streamed the Summer Game Fest what was it, 2 weeks ago. And we're going to get back. We're going to go back into wrestling because I want everybody's take on this match that was announced. We're going to get to that part later. And I'm going to have Lyric and Stephanie go first, and then we'll all chime in. But, before we do that, let's go to the gaming section. And I wanted to bring up a game that has a lot of history behind it. Because I played this game when I was 7 years old. Wasn't supposed to be playing no fucking game at 7 years old like this.
Especially not this one.
Especially not this one.
Especially not this
what Angel just said, especially not this one. Ladies and gentlemen, it was announced.
Especially not this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was announced. Resident Evil 9 Requiem. And for a lot of people who are, because Kev, you know about this, and we talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me bring you guys up to speed real quick. If you guys remember, back in the PlayStation days, actually, I don't even think I grabbed let me upload it real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, if you remember back in the PlayStation 2 days, there was a game that came out called Resident Evil Outbreak. And Resident Evil Outbreak was a game that allowed you to play as different characters with different abilities. One of the first characters that I picked was Alyssa Ashcroft. She's a master of unlocking things, so she had a lock pick. Alyssa, ironically, she was also a reporter and a journalist. Alyssa was doing reports on stuff that was happening in Raccoon City, but when her and Kurt went to go investigate some things that were happening, she had ran into Greg Mueller, who was chief at Umbrella Corporation and had wiped their memory clean. Now, this was back in 1996, and this was right around the time that the T-virus outbreak had started. Yes, I've played the games. This is part of being a nerd.
Like I said, he should have not played this game at 7.
That's right. Just talking right there.
Right. This the PTSD kicking in. So Alyssa had done reports on what was going on wait, hold on, time out. PTSD from Sonic.
I don't even want to know.
I don't even want to know.
Keep going, keep cooking, bro.
We're gonna go past. We're gonna come to that later. There might be a Rose Court segment.
Maybe.
There might be Rose Court for that one. So Raccoon City was in peril due to what was happening at Umbrella. Because of this, it was Alyssa's task to report on. There's that word again. Report on what was going on during that time. Now, as 2005 rolled around, Leon S. Kennedy was sent to Spain to rescue the president's daughter, Ashley Graham, in which Alyssa had wrote an article based on that. But this offended a lot of the people at Umbrella Corporation because she thought that the Los Illuminados was part of Umbrella's next big project. Fast forward to 2017, we have the incident in Louisiana, which was part of the Baker family being involved, and the shit with Ethan Winters, Resident Evil 9, Biohazard.
Please tell me this has a reason why you're talking about it.
Yes, because all this led up to Alyssa wanting to go investigate. During that time, she had a daughter named Grace, and Grace eventually became part of the FBI. Here's where it gets deep. There was a supernatural presence and disturbance and a little bit of another outbreak that happened at the Wrenwood Hotel, in which she went to go investigate. Alyssa never returned because she was murdered. She was murdered. And now you control this game as Grace, a part of the FBI, having to go back and reinvestigate her own mother's murder. And the messed up part about this is they showed the person who did it, but they didn't show his face. And I think I know who that person is.
Okay, my question is, Stephanie, are you okay?
She's in. I don't know where she's at.
I think she's in limbo.
The way she was like freaking out, she went.
We gotta save Steph.
Are you okay?
Steph,
I'm
you good?
okay. No, I'm good. I'm locked into this story right now.
So,
I've never heard any of this. So this is
It's a video game. It's based on a video game called Resident Evil.
It sounds so real. Like I love it. The way you're making it sound is I'm just locked in.
The way he describes things,
I'm locked in.
He's trying to get a little bit of money from Capcom. All right, he's selling.
Look,
here we go.
Here we go.
The way that this story had played out in Raccoon City is you now have to revisit the incidents of what happened at Raccoon City. And part of that now is Leon S. Kennedy, Chris Redfield. They're all involved. Ethan Winters is dead now. Rosemary is still alive. His daughter, Rosemary, is still alive. But let's talk about the most important part. We want to know who did it. And I'm going to tell you exactly who I think the villain is. The villain is Albert Wesker from the first Resident Evil, who was part of STARS.
Did you just spoil?
He's not actually confirmed, but that's who I think it is.
Oh,
because supernatural presence, disturbance, that all leads to Wesker. When he was thrown in a fucking volcano at the end of Resident Evil 5, we thought he was dead. But we also saw, if you guys played the Resident Evil 4 remake, which came out 2 years ago, and I've played it 17 times, that's 17 different playthroughs. At the end of the game, Ada Wong is in a helicopter, and she is being asked if she has the Amber. The person on the other end of that call, Albert Wesker, responsible for the incidents with the T-Virus, the incidents with Umbrella Corporation, the incidents that he started when he tried to kidnap Jill Valentine hostage. He tried to assassinate Chris, the incident on Death Island. And
to be honest, he's the reason for everything.
This man is part of trying to capture humans and make them experiments because he is the perfect creation of the mutation of the mutation of the T-Virus. And you don't have to play all the games to find that out, because I just ran through.
You literally just ran all of them all through.
Yeah,
watch the movie.
Like the first.
Oh, I wanted.
Not even the movies explain it either.
The movies.
No, they don't.
The movies are not canon because
no, they're not.
You
have to literally play all the games.
You have to
play all the games, or if not, just the summary of.
Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, Resident Evil 1 is the game you want to start with Resident Evil 0. But
obviously.
Resident Evil 3 happened before Resident Evil 2. So
this is like Kingdom Hearts all over again. Stop it.
Oh man, not the king.
It's like the Devil May Cry,
No, Devil May Cry was way more easier to explain than Kingdom Hearts.
You can't if you try to explain Kingdom Hearts.
Explain that.
You cannot. It's
you
physically.
Cannot.
You have to start. You have to start at the 1700s, at the literally the 1700s or something. Like by the time you get to where you're supposed to do like the Keyblade Wars, they're already lost.
I don't want to play no more.
This is kind of like my boyfriend explaining how all the Final Fantasies worked.
No.
When he explained to me how all the Final Fantasies worked.
Sorry.
No.
When he explained to me how all of it worked, look, I was looking at him like, wow.
No, see that's a whole different other story.
Stephanie, that's how I feel right now when they start talking about all that, or when my brothers talk about games.
Like trying to explain Final Fantasy to a person that has just started video games is kind of like explaining to someone wrestling in the 2024 eras.
Or explaining to anybody how the MCU is run through phase 1 through you know, the
Well, wait, hold
multiverse
on.
saga. But yeah,
I have an idea. So I'm gonna start with Lyric. We're gonna go to Stephanie, Kev, Angel, and Nessa, and then I'll be the final one.
Okay.
What do you think? And this question for everybody, because you've already said Final Fantasy, but what other lores or what other stories do you think have the most difficult lore to explain?
Wait, in general
In
or like
Like Kingdom Hearts? That's low, obviously.
yeah, that's low hanging
That's-
fruit. That's no.
What
We're not
other?
you can't even explain.
We're not going there.
What other series, movies, and
Oh, okay, so anything. Okay.
Anything that you could think of. What story do you think is the hardest to explain? Lyric, I'll start with you, Stephanie, Kev, Angel, and Nessa, and then I'll go last.
So, as a long-term fan, well, it's more like Tetsuya Nomura has been holding me hostage since 2002, but as a long-term fan of Kingdom Hearts, that is like the game that's the hardest to explain, because no matter how much you say you have to play the games in release order, people don't listen. And then they're like, well, what if I play it in No, play it in release order. Things are revealed to you in a certain way for a reason. So do not play 358 days over 2 before Kingdom Hearts 2. That's not how you're supposed to receive that information.
Oh, don't remind me about that when people used to make that mistake. I was like, why would you do that to yourself?
Stephanie, you go ahead. You guys are going to be blown away by what I have. Just go ahead.
Okay, so mine is actually twofold. My first one is I feel like I never want to explain the lore of the TV show Scandal. I don't want to have to ever explain it, because the fact that it starts off so simple but then breaks off into all this twisty, crazy stuff in 7 seasons is just one of the funniest things ever, and I just don't ever want to have to explain that because it is so dark and twisty. And it also it's just really crazy in comparison to what's happening in politics now, but we're not going to get into that. And then the second thing that I don't want to have to explain is, I guess, Lore Olympus. That's a comic. It started off as a web comic. It started off as a web comic, but then you can also buy them as books, and I have all 8 volumes of it so far. And it's basically the love story of Hades and Persephone, told in a very sexy, romantic comedy, tragic kind of way. And it is just really good, and I love it. And of course, there's the lore that you know if you've ever paid attention to Greek mythology, but then it's tied in such a way that makes it so modern that you feel like it could happen now. And that's what I really love about it. And it's just so sleek and so modern. And the author is Rachel Smythe. And I think there are maybe 2 more volumes that need to come out to complete the whole collection. But I've read all 8 volumes. Every time they come out, I purchase them. So that's not something I really talk about a whole lot, but I really do. I love Lore Olympus, but to have to explain it to everybody, especially when you don't know that everybody may or may not have a connection to Greek mythology, is really hard. So yeah, I'll leave that one alone.
Kev, what you got?
Also, I love Lore Olympus too.
Oh man,
I love it.
Miss Angel just said mine. Because my wife's best friend had been pushing us to watch Game of Thrones for years.
I was just about to talk about that.
I sat down and watched that because that's one of those shows that you just can't explain to somebody. They have to sit there and watch it. The Red Wedding. That episode. No. I will never watch something that crazy again. No, I can't explain it. Nope. Not going to go there.
I literally tried watching the first episode. I couldn't get on.
Another show I cannot explain is P-Valley. I sat down and watched every season, and I will never for the life of me understand. My favorite character from the series is Mercedes.
Yep.
Season 1, she was the strongest woman I ever seen. And by the end of that series, She was this blubbering baby, no confidence, no swag. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. And then somebody in the comments commented on the game I was going to use. I was going to say Metal Gear Solid. If you ever played Metal Gear Solid 2,
oh my god, and
only playing as Snake for just one mission and having to do less than this rating, no, I hate that game with a passion. I kept failing and failing.
I did not want to play as no damn Raiden, man.
I hate it. I'm sorry. I hate it, Raiden. I'm sorry.
The minute you say he is Snake, but he is also Snake, people tune out.
I'm good. So that's me. Go, Angel.
Angel, what you got?
Hola. Okay, so show-wise, How I Met Your Mother.
I love that show.
I love that show.
That was an underrated banger.
But no. It is amazing. I love that show. But why did it have to be so long just to explain that he met his wife with a yellow umbrella and then disappeared? And then it's like, why did it have to take so long just to explain about one person that he met? And then he's like, because I understand that he wanted to explain the story of his wife. Why did it have to be at the last season that you finally find out who the freak his wife is?
Like, so you get the length. So you get the length of the show.
No, it's so lengthy. That's the thing. I was just like, why? Why is it so lengthy? Why couldn't it just be, I don't know, 2 seasons, 3 seasons? Like, it didn't have to be that long. You could have introduced the characters in season 1. That's perfectly fine. But like, they just kept introducing characters upon characters upon characters upon characters. That made no sense in the story in the end. I was like, what is happening? I still watched it. It was awesome, but it's just like, why?
That's what
so
you got.
Long. And then,
oh, I'm sorry.
And then second thing, I wanted to say a video game. Because I already ranted about Kingdom Hearts, and yes, I agree. It's like, oh my god, Kingdom Hearts is just.
Kingdom Hearts is like the One Piece of gaming.
You'll never finish.
You will never,
ever.
And he will have us begging for more, especially after Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out. Especially after Kingdom 4 comes out, because I know that's not going to end the way I want it to end, and I want it to end already. But another video game that I have a very close connection with is well, actually me and my brother do. It's Sonic. And I will tell you the reason why.
Please explain.
The comics too. Oh my god.
The comics? Oh my. Actually, don't even get me. No. Okay, if we're gonna talk about Sonic in a specific show, Sonic Adventures, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Adventures with the Freedom Fighters, or even freaking Sonic Underground. I'm sorry, that ending was a cliffhanger, and then it cancels. That ending messed me up so badly. I was like, they found their mother, they're reunited, and then poof, disappear, and then they had to separate again. I'm like, what is happening? I was like, what is happening? I needed the explanation of why that happened, and then all of a sudden, it got canceled. And the reason why I said that the Sonic games messed me up, Sonic Adventures 2. The gameplay.
Okay.
The mechanics. Right. The fact that it was like graded now and you had to be so precise on the game, I was just like,
Nessa, what you got?
Before I go, this one is hilarious because this is true. Trying to explain the bloodline story to someone who doesn't watch WWE.
No, that's true. No, that's very
well, it started way back in the day.
No, I've actually successfully explained that before to somebody at work, and I didn't even know I could, but I did.
I think you just have to actually like do the research for that, because I've done a deep dive for that whole bloodline.
A necklace made out of fruit is fought over by multiple family members of the same bloodline. And one wants to be recognized and acknowledged. I'm sorry, Pepper.
It is a pepper.
It's a pepper.
Oh, I thought it was a
See-
fruit.
No, it's a pepper.
Okay, cool.
It's
I'm
a
sorry.
chile.
You ever see that big red necklace? What did it look like? A big chili pepper.
A chile.
Chile.
That's what my mom said it looked like, and I was like,
Chile.
"Look, Mama,
Exactly.
It's a
That's
Ulapala.
exactly.
I thought
It
it
is
was
not
a
big
It is the
difference.
Ulapala, but
It's
it
just a
is
big
chiles.
bunch of
My mom
peppers.
calls it the chiles. Like I even
Chiles.
bought her one for WrestleMania, and she's wearing her chiles.
That's
My
Christ
mom,
Queen.
yeah, my mom
go-
says it. She's like them peppers, and I'd be like, Mom.
Pepper.
Them peppers.
That's hilarious. All right, next.
Something that I wouldn't explain, and someone tried to explain it, but I had to watch it for myself, would be the show Lost.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's
That's
a
a
deep
good
one.
one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I had to just watch it for myself because it's also like how you guys were explaining Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Try to explain it to somebody, you're like, no, you just gotta watch it because if you don't pay attention to it, you're not gonna know.
You're gonna really be lost.
Yeah.
No,
Or
I'm sorry, but I would have rather someone explain Game of Thrones to me than actually watch that.
Hold on. It is dried and
Oh.
painted. See, I knew I had my.
Oh,
it looks like
done it?
chiles.
It looks like chiles. I'm sorry. It looks like chiles.
It looks like peppers.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Acknowledge me. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. And then I feel like anything like historical, you have to watch. Like if you try to explain it to somebody and they're just not into history like that, they're not gonna understand. Like if I try to explain the Tudors, Merlin, it's just gonna be they're just gonna look at me blank. And I've had someone look at me blank eyed, and I'm like, just watch the show.
My wife
Like,
loves
if you don't-
Merlin. That's the only way
I
I'm
love
hip to it.
Merlin.
My wife loves
yeah.
Merlin.
Oh, I love Merlin too.
Like
but
European history is everything, but
or Doctor
if you
Who.
don't like it, it's not gonna.
Doctor Who, I'm still getting into the Whittaker era. I'm getting out of Capaldi. So
I
I'm
like
real behind.
Bridgerton.
Oh,
Bridgerton, love
Yes, I love
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton. I
Oh,
can't wait.
he'll
Yes.
on Bridgerton too.
I can't wait.
Bridgerton and Queen Charlotte was my jam.
Yes.
It's so good. Yes.
I'm a romantic, y'all.
No, and the
You should watch
representation was so
Outlander.
beautiful. No, the representation was so beautiful, especially in Queen Charlotte.
Charlemagne is always excellent. At
No, seriously.
So
Mhm.
here's my pick.
Go
I
for
have
it.
I have two. Number one is World War I and II.
Mm.
Trying to explain the lore of that is so fucked up.
Greg, I feel you, Greg.
That I feel like that, but my all-time pick and Lyric, I don't know if you watched this anime, but there is an anime, and it's not. I mean, there's One Piece, but then there's also this anime.
Mhm.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce you guys to a series known by one word. It's called Fate.
Ah!
Let me explain what I'm about.
Why was that terrible yell coming from you, Angel?
Because
Let-
Fate
Did
is
you get
traumatizing.
PTSD?
Let me
Fate
ex-
is
Well, damn.
traumatizing.
let me
Her
explain.
soul.
Let me
I
explain.
know.
You actually have to watch this series in a specific order.
A specific
based
order.
in a specific. There's different versions of Fate. So
Oh,
I actually have the list. So this
You
is
do?
yes.
Oh, wow.
This is the chronological order.
Mm.
Number 1, Fate Zero.
Mhm.
Number 2, Fate Stay Night, aka Fate Route.
I should have known.
Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. These are animes and movies, by the way.
Yep.
Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel 1 Presage Flower. Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel 2 Lost Butterfly. Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel Spring Song. Wait a minute. Then there's Fate Hollow Ataraxia, the visual novel. Then there is an extra storyline called the Moon Cell Holy Grail Wars. So we got an Amber Alert over here.
Uh-oh.
Is it Everland or Tornado Watch?
I think it's tornado.
Tornado.
Oh,
It sounds
you-
like tornado.
You guys getting the tornado watch too? Okay.
No, that sounds like
No,
yours.
that sounds like the tornado for you.
Well, it ain't for me. My shit is gone.
Yeah, I got
praise God.
Lyric thunderstorm.
What'd you say, Lyric?
thunderstorm warning.
Oh, okay. Going back to the order, there's the Moon Cell Holy Grail Wars, in which 128 mages battle in a tournament for the Holy Grail inside a massive supercomputer on the fucking moon, which observes and records human history. You have to play video games, read the manga, and then watch the anime. And that is Fate Extra CCC, Foxtail, Fate Extra Last Encore, Fate Extella Link. Those were 2 games. That's Fate. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Angel, I'm about to say something. Then there's the Grand Order storyline.
Oh, don't start with that one.
That definitely sounds like some One Piece.
Wait a minute. There's the Grand Order storyline, which is Fate Grand Order, the first order. Fate Grand Order Chapter 1 through 5, a mobile game. Fate Grand Order Divine Realm of the Round Table, which is a movie. Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia, the final chapter, which is the video mobile game.
And it's not even the actual final chapter.
It's not even the final chapter. Epic of Remnant, which is the mobile game. Cosmos and the Lost Belt, mobile game. Oh, wait a minute. Then there's the linear storyline, which is Fate but Magical Girls, which is Prisma Ilia, Prisma Ilia 2-way, Prisma Ilia 2-way Hertz,
hell no.
Prisma Ilia 3-way, Oath Under the Snow. Oh, and don't forget, there's the spin-offs.
Oh my god.
Fate Apocalypse.
Spin-offs?
There's spin-offs. No, there's actual spin-offs.
After the main storyline.
This is Carnival.
I see the pain in Angel's face right now.
You see why I freaked out like that? It is traumatizing.
Hold on, let me finish. Carnival Phantasm, which you have to watch after Fate Stay Night.
Oh, shut up. Don't even start with that. Oh my god.
Today's menu for Emiya family. Lord El Mio Case Files 2, which is watched after the first Fate Zero, but before Fate Stay Night. Fate Strange Fake, which is a light novel. Garden of Avalon, which is a drama CD.
Oh my god, my eyes starting to twitch.
Fate Requiem, which is a light novel, which you have to read after the second Fate. And then there's a visual novel, a movie series, and a light novel, and then 2 others, which you have to be translated in Japanese to watch it. That is all you have to do to catch up on that one series.
For the rest of my life?
Dude, I got no time on
Earth. For the rest of your life.
For the
I'm
no,
cool.
and it's because
So you trying to say?
And the interesting part about the series is, so you go from Fate, right? You go from the first one, Fate Zero. You have to go to the next one because it's the storyline upon storyline upon storyline upon storyline. So, like, if you like one character, you have to go to the next one to learn about them. And then if you like that character, you got to go to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So it's just like, oh, I hate it so much.
Because if you skip one, you're going to be totally lost.
Yeah.
So you have to stay.
You have to stay on course because
y'all do know this sounds like a 10-year project.
If you actually skip one,
exactly the rest of my life.
No, if you actually
brother,
skip
I ain't got that
you're,
long.
You're skipping an entire arc. You're skipping an entire arc, and then if you go to the next arc, they're literally going to be talking about the last arc. So you're like, wait, what happened?
So there's no like cliff notes.
No. It's
you don't
literally
get cliff notes.
It's literally kind of like what Wizards of Waverly Place said previously on, but like.
Oh, I ain't gonna previously on you, man. Hell.
And the other part is you have to play the games. Otherwise, when they bring those characters in to the next show,
like, who is that?
Who the fuck is this? And you're gonna be like, wait a minute, now I gotta play the game.
Agreed.
You have to learn a language to attend for 3 novels. Yep, pretty much.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no
effing
way.
No.
You have to go to school and get a degree in order to finish it.
I need an associate's to watch this.
And the funniest thing is that
what I
now
feel like
animes are starting to do that too. Like, for example, Inuyasha did that too.
I love Inuyasha.
One Piece has like 32 movies that you have to watch.
One Piece did that. Inuyasha did that, and now apparently Seven Deadly Sins is starting to do that too.
I'm gonna just stick
Seven
with
Deadly
my
Sins
novellas.
already has 7 arcs. 7 arcs, dude. I only got to 2.
I'm caught up on all 7, and
The way
I'm
you
like
zoomed in.
I'm caught up on all 7, and I'm like, I'm done.
You
done.
caught up with all 7?
I had no choice. I had no choice.
How?
I had no choice.
Like dead
We
ass
need
how.
answers.
No, like how? Because I couldn't even get past like the third
Right,
season.
Greg? Like that's an automatic refund for real, for real.
You know, man.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing before we move on, is that when I'm invested in something, I have to know what happened. I
was invested too until I found out that it had 7 arcs plus the manga plus supposedly the video games that are coming out. I was like, thank you.
I'm caught up on Solo Leveling, and it took me way less time than I thought it was going to take. Speaking of Solo Leveling,
no.
Go ahead, Angel.
You want me to say it? All right, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all are caught up with Solo Leveling, not the manga, not the manga, the show, season 3 is coming out next month.
Okay. All right.
No,
that's good news. That's good
I'm
news.
so ready for it.
That's good
so
news.
Ready.
That's good news.
Oh,
Not
also
only
Kaiju number 8.
Kaiju number 8, and also the video game for Solo Leveling is 4-player co-op, which will be dropping very, very soon.
I'm excited for that too.
Okay, now I feel like we've left Lyric out, and because I haven't heard her talk at all. Lyric, are you still with us?
Still here.
I was actually gonna ask her something. I was actually gonna ask Lyric something.
Yeah, please do.
Oh, go.
So when you said that your brother and you like video games and anime, right?
Yeah.
Like, what was the first anime that you and your brother watched that you like both like connected on? Like, that's the main, like that's the first thing that got you like hook, line, and sinker.
So yeah, the storm is starting. So if you hear my dog barking, that's why. But so our first like together anime watch was Dragon Ball Z, and then Toonami would have like all 3 Dragon Balls on at night when you came home from school. So we would watch Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT together, and we played all the Budokai games together.
Oh, nice. But what's like your what's your favorite? Like, what's your favorite like now? Anime?
Oh shit.
Cash?
You all right?
Yeah, just go ahead.
Okay. Lyric.
I guess keep going. What's your favorite anime?
So my favorite anime, all in all, like because I watch so much anime, so it's like hard to pick one.
Felt that. All right, then how about top like 5?
Oh, top 5: Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Sailor Moon, and it's a toss up between like. See that after you get like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and Sailor Moon, then they start moving positions all the time because it's like.
Yeah, because those are always like the top 3.
Yeah,
they really are.
But what about like indie ones, like different type of like other types? Have you like explored those?
Oh yeah, so like one that I really like is like Baka and Test. It's like a shoujo anime, but it's like about these kids in like a remedial classroom, but like their high school is based around whatever your like overall grade is. You have this avatar that you fight with, and like your power level is determined by your grade.
Oh, that's cool.
So I really like that one. I like Panty and Stocking. I like Peach Girl. Persona 4 the animation, which is like an anime based on Persona.
Classic. That was so good. So good. Especially Golden. Oh, that was also a really good
I love
one.
how she's fangirly. Every time she says Toonami, I always think of Kota Lyoko. Like that was my thing back in the day.
No, but Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden. Those are really good.
I didn't get to play the first 2 Persona games, but like 3, 4, and 5 are like in my like top 10, top 20 of games of like my entire life.
My brother got me into Persona 4, actually.
See, I saw Persona 4 the animation first, and then I played the games.
I was gonna ask. You said that you like a lot of like friendship type of animes, and you also like. Do you like family-oriented types too?
Yeah, like Clannad is one of my favorite anime. Like just the heart of it, the message of it, like resonating with, especially now after everything I've been through in the last year, like it resonates with me even more.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just now getting back. I had to leave because I thought I saw lightning. But no, it was just our neighbors across the street setting off fireworks.
Fireworks?
Wow. Wow.
Oh, really?
Okay. All right.
Dude, it's not.
Okay.
Why would you let off fireworks when it's raining?
That's what we're doing. Got it.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't know.
Ohio.
Yeah,
That's Ohio. Ding.
Yeah, Northeast Ohio. The only place that will light up fireworks during May and won't stop till August.
Because fireworks.
Yep. Like you'll get fireworks, the air show.
Oh, the air show. Oh, that's so annoying.
Yeah, we're down the street from where America's fireworks are sold. So we're down the street from where all that stuff is at. Real quick, let's go back to wrestling real quick. I want to get everybody's take on this match that was announced for Saturday night's main event. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to say this.
Oh.
You brought this into
Why?
existence.
We were having a good conversation.
Oh, what are we doing?
This was really good.
Ladies and gentlemen, all I'm going to say is...
Why the fuck would you do something like that?
You brought it up.
You're not bringing this up.
I'm not the person who booked this shit.
Oh, shit.
Ladies and
talk about this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to tell you something that you're not going to want to hear.
All right,
This is your fault, Dallas.
Me.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I did say, "What if
you did? You literally brought it into existence.
You spoke of
started this.
Blame you. Who this man?
So, sweetie, this is your fault.
Yes. It's all Dallas spoke this into existence.
No, he did.
He wanted to see this.
He literally posted, and I quote, "I hope WWE doesn't put this," and then he literally put a picture of Goldberg with the World Heavyweight Championship title.
Listen, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Okay. There's something that needs to be done for me doing this. There's something that needs to be done for me doing this, and I'm just gonna do it.
Don't turn away on this one day. All right. Here comes the judge. You never know what they'll do or say.
This should make a good sitcom.
Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta put myself in Rose Court.
Oh, I would put your ass in Rose Court immediately.
Gavel him. Get him.
I don't even have a I don't even have, hold up.
I got a back scratcher.
I can't explain to you guys. I can't explain how bad I fucked up. Okay. All I said was, what if this leads to Gunther?
Why would you break your heart, Dallas?
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. What if Gunther winning was so he could face Goldberg because they were going to be in Atlanta? I'm like, okay, this is what they're doing. Because you don't want to see Jay versus Goldberg. If Goldberg beats would have beaten Jey Uso, Triple H would have had to go into witness protection.
He already got to get into witness protection.
Oh no, he definitely has to go to witness protection. He has to go.
This is exactly like this is how we're all feeling right now, and this is it, like this.
Bien pendejo.
No, seriously, like that.
Wait, so y'all blaming me for it? Listen, all I said was this is
not you. We're blaming Triple Nose.
Well, this is what's gonna happen.
Oh,
you leave Perspiration H alone.
Goldberg is going to win, and then Seth is going to cash in. If that happens, the IWC is going to flame me into oblivion. So I pray to God.
I will blame you myself.
I'm not the booker.
The dog don't even want none of this right now.
The dog is pissed. The dog is pissed off. The dog is pissed off.
Look, Dallas, here, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Humble Roses, we do not take part in
we do
that
not
Dallas
condone
Cash
any of
says.
this.
That is his view.
This
and
is his view.
That's his bullshit.
Please do not cancel us for his
don't cancel us.
and his
We don't condone.
This guy right here is responsible for everything he says, not us.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleading with you. I am pleading with the IWC. If Goldberg beats Gunther, please show mercy. I was just thinking, okay, if Vince was booking this is how it would go. But ladies and gentlemen,
That is hilarious. Oh my God.
I rebuke
you.
I rebuke it.
I did not start this. All I said was it would be hilarious if Goldberg won, or if Steph cashed in. If Steph cashed in.
Nobody wants that. And definitely nobody wants Rollins. Nobody.
Thank you. Get him, Steph. Get him.
I see. Pega.
Hold up. I'll join you, Nessa. Pega.
Lyric, please. Lyric, help me out, please. Lyric, please.
She's probably.
Hey, that's your turn, brother. I'm good.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
I have my run.
Someone's coming at you tonight.
You ain't summoning Maui on my ass. I tell you that right now.
I watched Moana to get that off my ass. I'm good. I'm good. I watched the hell out of Moana.
Wait a minute. Who are these people? I've never seen these people
before. Mom.
Your mom just cooked me?
Yes. You got cooked. You got mom cooked, brother.
Hold on. Your mom has never come on this show in the comment section at all.
And she came in to get you.
The last time she was on this show was when she walked by when I first had you on the show. Like it was a cutscene. Like it was a cutscene. You mean to tell me that I'm getting cooked?
By my Hispanic mother.
You better not summon no more of your family here.
Oh wow! This is going off the rails again.
This what we doing now? This is what we doing now?
This is what we doing.
This what we doing? Oh!
This is how it's going.
Oh my God!
She's laughing at me.
You getting cooked?
Love you, mommy.
You getting cooked?
Oh man, listen.
Patricia.
Oh, this is too funny.
Nothing but love, mama. Nothing but love.
I am not responsible for anything that happens.
Faith is calling the ancestors on you. That's all you.
You're welcome.
That's the thunder you heard outside.
Welcome.
Like,
do see hati my mon my you. Like no.
I even watched the Scorpion King to get that off me, brother.
For real? Oh my god!
Did you watch the two? Did you watch the Tooth Fairy too? Hey, I love you.
Hey,
too.
The Tooth Fairy went hard.
I love you too.
Oh my god, the Tooth Fairy, yes.
Tooth Fairy went hard. Dallas can hate it all you want.
Mama Salazar coming through with
Walking Tall. Watch the heck out of it.
Walking Tall. Hey, Walking Tall was very underrated. Walking Tall was
underrated. That's a good one.
So now that we've established that I'm basically being annihilated by you guys, the Chad, the IWC. So
and my family apparently.
Family don't even like it, brother.
It's now. Like, wait, hold on. Is this thundering?
Oh,
I tried to tell you.
Is it starting already?
What is she doing?
You know ball. If you know, you know.
Wait, is it actually?
Like it's really like it's storming right now. What is she doing?
No.
I told you, I don't see nothing.
See, Faith, we
You're
have
my girl,
nothing to
Faith. I
do.
love you, girl.
We have nothing to do with what he just
I
said.
love you, Faith. I can name everybody in the bloodline.
Hold on, what
currently,
the fuck is going on? What the hell?
Shout out Solo.
Maui and
I love you. Maui. I love you.
I'm on here.
I love you.
Hey, call this shit off, wrestler. Get the fuck out of here with that. Like,
I'm trying to tell you, it ain't fun when the rapper got the gun.
oh hell no, this is some bullshit.
Nope.
Nah.
Oh yeah, y'all ain't putting me on marks with mics.
All right, anyways,
that ain't happening.
Lyric,
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out of here.
Lyric, do you have anything to say?
All I gotta say is, for all those Gunther fans that was making fun of Yeet Nation last week, have fun. Your fave is wrestling a man with no knees.
Oh, wow.
I'm not gonna.
I'm not touching that one.
I'm not going to say anything.
You know what?
Because
Just
I am
put
trying
this
to
up
be
right
in the
here.
position
Like,
where Stephanie's at, and I don't want to accidentally run into
I don't want the
Goldberg
ancestors.
like how Matt Riddle did. So I'm not trying to. I ain't saying nothing about Goldberg. I'm chilling.
He just had a pimp limp.
You need
That's
to
all.
stay
That's
quiet
all.
for a little bit. Okay?
Yeah, I think you need to stay quiet, Cash, right now for the.
Yeah.
You brought back
I
that
know you
fossil.
right now.
That is on you.
He
Take
couldn't
ownership.
get on the second rope.
I was dying. I was like, please don't fall because I will die laughing on this line.
Wait,
And then he was spitting on that man.
Lyric, say that one more. Lyric, say that one more time.
Goldberg couldn't get on the second rope.
No, seriously, like this man started
No, he
spitting on
didn't.
him. I'm like, are you okay? I really thought he was about to pop a vein, man. I really thought he was gonna pop a
sweaty.
vein.
I heard that too.
His chest was palpitating.
I was like,
Veins in
sir,
his
are
head.
you?
Look.
I really thought he was about to pop a vein. I was like, are you okay?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Kev, do that again. Kev, do that again. Do it again, bro.
I heard that you want a match.
Yo,
I got the
he
Right.
turned into that. He turned into
From
that
Ted
guy
Match.
from Fudge. He turned into that guy from the episode of SpongeBob, the rock bottom with the.
Mind you, Gunther was out there begging Seth to come out. He was like, Seth.
Right? I know I was like, somebody come save us at
Yo,
this point.
I was literally waiting for Seth to come out. After I really thought he was gonna come out. I was like, Seth, I don't like you, but like this moment, please come out. Like, please.
I was waiting for that ugly ass
See,
Chicago
I
Bears
was-
suit. I was waiting
I was
for it.
really like, someone come save us, and then here comes Goldberg, and I was like, well, damn, that's not what I wanted.
There,
I
Cash,
was
you
really
have a little
hoping-
bit of redemption.
Thanks,
I like
Mama.
this.
We
Jay
love
to
you.
come back out. But
That's what we all said was going to happen.
I really thought that
Gunther was going to be
happen.
stuck in the Goldberg vortex, and Jay was going to continue to be the main character of Raw. We said that.
Mhm.
And apparently
Yeah.
now it's different.
I feel like that's who I feel the saddest for. Because I feel the saddest for Jay simply because of the fact of he worked so hard to differentiate himself from the
Yes, he
bloodline.
did.
And
Agreed.
No, and it's the
separate
fact
himself
that-
from them
You're not
and
lying.
solidify himself as a single star after all
Mhm.
this time being with his twin brother. And he has that beautiful moment that I was privileged to be there to see with him winning and beating Gunther fair and square, only to have so short a title reign, just like with Braun Breaker and the IC title. And that broke my heart because why don't y'all trust him to hold the title for a longer period of time? Why can't you have him feud with anybody else for that title outside of the same person who he just defeated? Like, why?
Exactly.
That was
Like,
ridiculous.
why is it just Gunther, and why does Gunther just automatically think he just has a rematch after he was just in a match with Pat McAfee? It's just
Yeah.
Mhm.
All the time.
it really just hurt me. It hurt me real bad when he lost. I was like, man, come on.
Not even just that.
We have another tornado warning,
Oh no.
and it's
Yeah.
nighttime. Yeah, thanks a lot, Wrestle Faith. You done summoned.
I'm trying to tell you, brother. You gotta watch
Also,
those movies.
It was also, I feel like it wasn't just even sad about that title run. It was literally just sad about all the title runs that he's had so far. Like, it's so short.
Yeah, but I don't even think it's that. I think it's that Goldberg threw a tantrum that his last match isn't for a title,
Hey,
and that's what
guys, I literally actually have to go because, yeah, I'm coming. Yep, there's actually one here. I'm dead
Oh
serious.
Lord, please be safe.
Please
Oh my
stay
God.
Wait,
safe.
please be
Dallas.
safe. No, seriously.
Be
All
safe,
right,
D.
see you later.
Bye.
I love you, man.
Bye.
You gotta love Northeast Ohio weather. Gotta
yeah,
love
mine is just a severe thunderstorm, so hopefully my power don't get knocked out.
it. Same. So it might be I'm here 1 second and going the next.
Aw.
Yeah, in Alabama, we've had like lots of popcorn thunderstorms, but the tornadoes, yeah, they can get real rough down here. So I understand.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, be safe, Dallas. I thought it was really disrespectful, the fact that they don't trust him with other titles. And the fact that he doesn't have that many like challengers was also really messed up to me, because I'm like, first of all, you could make an entire story with Sammy. You can make an entire story with Cody. You can make an entire story with Seth.
See, I don't think he needed to be with Cody though. The whole point was for him to get away from the bloodline, and Cody is still tied into the bloodline.
No, what I mean is like have a mini feud, because we already knew that Cody's gonna have a mini feud with a lot of people, especially once he comes back.
But Cody feels like he's just been mostly feuding with John Cena at this point. So I feel like that. So I feel like him going against Jay would have been sort of weird anyway. But I like, honestly, if it were me, I know I've never been a booker, so I don't ever claim to be, that type of person who knows better than people who've been doing this for years. But I honestly would have wanted Jay to feud with people who we hadn't seen feud for the title before. Like,
Agreed.
Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like even though I know Xavier and Kofi are in a tag team and they're tag team champions,
that would have been some good
matches.
One of those guys?
One of them like go for the heavyweight, championship or something. Like
Kofi,
just
maybe
anybody, or even Karrion, or just anybody else different. But I don't know. I don't know how they're running things or or what goes into those decisions. But I just feel like, just shake it up a bit. Do something.
Yeah, shake it up, man.
Just to
So-
shake it up. But
So my question to you guys, I don't know if you guys heard Rikishi's podcast after Jay lost. Do you guys think he was valid in what he was saying about how they're treating Jay and how they're they're not properly writing his story, or they don't know what they're doing, kind of thing?
Yes. Yeah. I know people get on Rikishi like, oh, you're just saying that because that's your son, but like Rikishi's been in the wrestling business for decades. So I don't think it's coming from a point of like nepotism or feeling like that's my son, I want my son to have everything. It's just if you have somebody that works as hard as Jay does and moves merch and moves ticket, like Paul Heyman said it, he was like, tickets go up when Jay is announced.
This is true.
So if you have a moneymaker, you invest in your moneymaker.
I have a
no. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go for it.
No, go ahead, Stephanie.
Yeah, for me, when it comes to Rikishi, there is the level of him wanting better for his son. In that regard, that I do, take into account. But also, I don't want to say that they don't take him seriously as a champion and they're not booking him correctly, because when I hear about that, it makes me think about how in a past interview where Mercedes Moné, ironically, who's wrestling tonight, who's my fave, mentioned in an interview years ago that WWE sort of felt like she was a star without a title, whereas they felt like Charlotte mostly needed a title because you couldn't like imagine her without gold because she's a Flair, whereas you could be over without a title, which is true because Jay is always going to be over no matter what, because we just love him, and he doesn't necessarily need a title, but of course, because we want him to have all the good things, we want him to have that sort of thing. So I don't know. It's just a little bit twisty for me. I can see it from both sides, but at the same time, it still hurts my feelings because I just wanted Jay to just bask in his moment for a lot more
than what he had.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of feel cheated, man.
Yeah,
like I was perfectly okay with the Damian Priest title run. Like, let him hold it until SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, like, and I don't hate Gunther. I love Gunther as a wrestler, but it's hard to tell stories with him because they will not give him the opportunity to grow as a character.
Yeah. Although I believe that this like the story arc with Pat has definitely like helped him a little bit, because now you can see like he's truly trying to be in his like heel era, and I think that's really, really interesting too about his character.
Mm-hmm.
Is that he can make magic with any person that he wrestles.
Yeah. Well, Dalton, we're going through all the comments, but this is a question from Dalton about Jade. Do you guys think that he's more of a tag team material or a singles competitor, or maybe both?
Oh, he can do both. If they want to run him back, like I think one of the ladies brought up that if you want to rerun him against the Bude and team him back up with Jimmy, and they want to rerun that rivalry again, you could do that. But Jay will be back on top. It's just he got to take a step back.
Time.
He's gonna get it back. He's a merchandise mover. He's gonna be fine.
I mean, I kind of felt like we don't really know what the King of the Ring tournament is going to look like once we get to Night of Champions. But I feel like if Jay makes it to the finals, I feel like that's Triple H's way of apologizing, to be like, we're sorry we had to cut your title reign short for this Goldberg thing, but he wanted his last match to be for a title.
Mm-hmm.
But here's this kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like compensation.
Or
here's some Slim Jim commercials. Here you go.
Oh, don't do
or
that.
Or maybe he just felt like he had to do that for Goldberg, just to give Gunther and Goldberg that finishing moment, because they had that moment at Bad Blood in Atlanta
and then never went.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking.
So now
too.
This was sort of his way of trying to tie that loose end, and then
maybe
make up for it.
Happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth.
Supernova.
So my question to both ladies, well, two things. One, you both are writers, but for different types of topics, and also for you're both freelance, right? If I'm not mistaken.
No, I'm not a freelancer. I write for Daily DDT, which is a website that is ran by Fansided, which is also ran by Time Inc. So yeah.
Okay. I freelance. I go to different.
No, so my question was, one, what inspired y'all to write, and two, do you guys read?
I'm a big reader. I was like the kid that like would sit at the back of the family function with a book. So I was always big into reading. But the way I got into writing was I graduated high school in 2013. So, but I had to I didn't end up going to college because of family stuff. So I ended up staying home, but I couldn't find a job. So, not everybody can find a job quickly. Yeah. I just couldn't.
We know it.
I mean, I agree.
Yeah. So I ended up basically, helping my family out because we were going through a tough time at that point. But it reached a point where I was like, I can take this anymore. I have to do something. So I started a blogger, and I was doing that for a little while. And then what happened was my mom had a heart attack in 2016. And on the way to the hospital, I was like, if you save my mom, if she makes it out of this, I will take my writing seriously. So I found this one website. The name escapes me for some reason right now, but that was my first writing foray. It was unpaid. I didn't start getting paid for my writing until after the fandom writing program shut down, and I started writing for BlackGirlNerds. So that's when I started getting paid for my writing. So it's my writing career basically started because my mom had a health scare, and I was like, if you get my mom through this, I will take my writing seriously.
Oh, and it works in mysterious ways.
Yeah,
definitely.
Right. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. So You know,
No matter how
I
scary
lost.
it is.
How's your
Yeah.
mom now, if you don't mind me asking?
So both parents are now gone. I lost my dad in November last year, and I lost my mom in April, like mid-April, like a few days after my birthday.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
My condolences.
Yeah, so right now I'm kind of back in transition because I was both of their caretakers, which is why I worked from home, which is why I freelance.
Right.
So, you know, after they passed, my brother was like, because I was like, well, I don't have to be a caretaker anymore, so I can go get a 9 to 5. And my brother was like, well, no. He was like, just go full into your content creation now because all you have to worry about is yourself now. So that's basically what I'm doing. Yeah. So,
What kind of books do you read?
So I read manga. I just bought 2 new mangas yesterday. It was like they're called Honey So Sweet. I like shoujo manga. I like shoujo manga. But yeah, I like mystery books. There's this one book series by Lauren Kate. It's the Fallen novels. I love those. I was obsessed with those my senior year of high school.
I know those. Same.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
I was gonna say, same question to Stephanie.
Yes, same question to Stephanie.
Okay. Well, I read a lot as a kid because my mom made me read. Well, she didn't. Well, she kind of made me read out of a necessity because she said that when I was really young, I started trying to read the words on the TV. So she said, "Okay, it's time to put you in school." And she said I always was really good at words when it came to that. So I was reading on a pretty high level when I was really little, and she made me read books that were above my level. So when everybody else was reading Harry Potter, mom was making me read Maya Angelou. So that's just kind of how my life went. I hated it to a degree, but that's just what it was. And I did begin to enjoy more reading like with young adult novels the older I got, and then I started reading autobiographies. And now I don't read that much anymore because college kind of burned me out from it with the assigned readings. And I was just like, yeah, I'm tired. Goodbye. So I do read newspapers. When I did read newspapers a lot. And then I also read magazines. I love magazines. And like I said earlier, I do read Lore Olympus and webtoons and stuff like that. So anything that's kind of short form that I can do really quickly, that's what I kind of like to read because I don't have time to really dedicate to books. But funny enough, I love to buy books. It's weird.
Me too.
It's like I like to build a library, but at the same time, I know I never make enough time to read. It's funny.
I'm not reading
So
those.
you want a library, you
I'm
just don't
reading.
want to actually use the library.
I'm reading,
You're like,
but I
nah,
also want to build my own library. I just want to build my own library.
It's funny, but that's just kind of
That's
what
sweet.
I do. And in terms of writing was always something I did out of necessity in school, but then I didn't realize I had an affinity for it until the 8th grade when my teacher would sort of make us write poetry. And she said, look, if you write the best, whoever wrote the best poem would get, sent in for like a publication for like a young American poet thing for a book. And I wrote a poem and it wound up taking off a lot better than I thought it did. And she entered it into a contest and I wound up beating a guy I was dating who was like the class poet.
Wow.
Didn't even know I was even that good at it. And then I would just write essays or just write down my thoughts because I had a diary growing up. So that's kind of how writing happened. And then writing with wrestling happened when I was writing for a publication that shall remain nameless because that did not go over well. And then after I left that publication, Daily DDT saw what was going on, and Raphael, my editor, was like, look, like if you want to write with me and this website, then you're more than happy to. And I applied and he accepted me, and I've been writing with them ever since. I released my 23rd article with them I think last week. So yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh girl.
Kevin, I know you weren't here with us early in the start. Do you have any questions for Lyric or Stephanie?
Well, I can ask both the ladies this. If you could book with this current WWE main roster, look, knowing what we know so far with all the injuries and whatnot, what would you book to be your WrestleMania? Well, we're doubling back to Vegas. So what would be your WrestleMania main events for both nights? If you could book 2 matches to be your WrestleMania main event matches next year, what would they be? Stephanie or Lyric? Whoever wants to go first.
Night 1, give me the big 3 triple threat: Bianca, Naomi, and Jade.
Yup.
Night 2, give me the Jade versus Roman 1-on-1 match that we still haven't gotten. Like, no interference, just straight up.
No tribal combat. I like that.
That would be good. Just a 1-on-1. Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really good choices, Lyric. I like that a lot. So for me, I guess my night 1, it's kind of crazy to think about now because, oh, that's so hard. I guess at this point, I would say maybe Tiffany Stratton versus Mariah May. I mean, not Mariah May. I'm sorry, Blake Monroe. I'm still trying to get used to the names. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The names change, and it's just my brain is so used to that.
Oh no, you're fine.
So yeah, I would say Blake Monroe versus Tiffany Stratton. For night 1, and then night 2, I would say Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker.
Oh,
we getting that NXT 2.0. Okay, I like that. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, when they made eye contact last Friday, I got so excited.
Yeah, they're like a match made in heaven to me.
They really are.
Fight forever.
Yes. And then Carmelo has the most wins over him, honestly. So when you tie in the NXT stuff, so yeah,
run that back.
That would be interesting.
I would love to see that on the main roster.
even it out.
Yeah.
All right,
number
ladies,
7.
we have a question in the comments from Dalton. He wanted to know which wrestler do you guys feel like needs a book, or I guess to see who needs to tell their story.
Yeah.
Jesus. Anybody?
I was like,
Don't say Cody Rhodes. How about that? Don't go there.
I mean,
no, Cody's pretty much said except for what happened in his last days of AEW. He said he'll never talk about that.
I think Cody has already said too much about his.
Yeah, we kind of know the story with that guy.
Yeah, I guess the easiest would be a Bloodline book, but like that would be more so I want to know about the power struggle that's happening right now, because like it seems like there's a discrepancy between how Paul Heyman and Roman wrote the Bloodline and how Triple H writes the Bloodline, and I feel like there's got to be some sort of animosity there.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like I would want a book about, I guess, the Bullet Club.
Ooh,
yeah, just like a book about the Bullet Club. I feel like for a historic perspective, that would be really good just to have as a keepsake, and just to read through how everything collectively happened and how it ties into AEW now. Like that would be really good. Even though AEW does have a book coming out about the first 5 years, I feel like a book. Yeah, I feel like a book about the Bullet Club would be a great keepsake. So yeah, the history of the Bullet Club would be cool.
I feel like the Bullet Club book would be more uncut than the AEW book. I feel like AEW is going to smooth over a lot of stuff in that book.
Wait, Lyric, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said I think AEW might try to smooth over a lot of stuff in that book. I feel like the Bullet Club book would be more uncut.
Oh yeah, it probably would be more uncut. You're right, but
Wow.
a Mark Henry book would be great.
Oh, Mark Henry book would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, you guys stay safe, please.
Yo, seriously, please stay safe. Oof.
Yeah. I actually need to go because
thank you guys for joining us. Before you guys leave, let everyone know where they can find you. If you have anything to plug in or want to promote, please go ahead.
Okay. Well, you guys, thank you so much for having me on your show. Thank you. It was such an honor to be here, and if you ever want me back, I'll come back. But you guys, yes, if you guys want to follow me, you can follow me, your girl Stephanie Hardy, on Instagram and on X/Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy. You can listen to my show, The Hardy Wrestling Podcast, on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere else you can listen to stuff. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is The Hardy Wrestling Podcast. You can also listen to my show, or watch my show rather, Steph and Cat Talk WoW, where me and Katrina from In Cat We Trust talk about WoW superheroes. We're doing a new episode tomorrow for Juneteenth, so please check that out. And read all of my articles on Daily DDT, where I write and talk about stuff in wrestling from an imaginative point of view, but also just, editorials and stuff. And I really enjoy doing that, to read all of my stuff there. And also be on the lookout for HWP Extra episodes as well, where I talk about matches and pay-per-views. I will be talking about Evolution because that is coming up. So yeah, just be on the lookout for all the things, and and sometimes I might pop up in different cities. That happens. But yeah, that's me.
So, for me, on Twitter, it's Lyric. I love Lyric AI and then love. And mostly I talk about wrestling and stuff, but I also talk about, I guess, pop culture and stuff on my Twitter. But I am starting my podcast soon, so be on the lookout for that. I'll probably post it on my Twitter.
Yes.
I like that.
That's good.
Yeah, I have more time now, so I'm able to get back into writing and stuff. So
that's exciting. Well, it's unfortunate. I know Dallas was very excited. We were all very excited to have you guys on the show. We would love to have you guys back on, and definitely check us out next Wednesday for another chaotic show, as always.
Why is it always something?
I don't know. At this point, it just happens. It just happens.
Shout out to the Samoan gods. I appreciate you all. I have learned my lesson from last week. Thank you to all 356 views. Thank you to all 11 for the love and likes and hugs. Thank you,
everybody
so much.
in the chat. You guys are always amazing.
Yeet.
Thank you for showing love. And good night, everybody.
Bye.
Night.